And we are recording because I don't have to press record. Although last week we did have an interesting experience. Did you listen to it by chance?
I actually didn't.
Okay. So what ended up happening for people who are curious, because there was some dropout and we said we wouldn't, or you wouldn't hear that dropout because Riverside should clean it up. Well, I thought it said file completely uploaded for everyone, and it apparently did not. So luckily Riverside recorded a backup. The only gotcha is what Riverside recorded is what I heard. So it wasn't as clean as we were hoping, but we still got a show out last week. And I think this week we might be doing better with internet, Demasi.
We should be.
So far.
Yeah. So we have a winner of the internet, challenge. Who's going to get me internet to my house first? AT&T or Xfinity? Or would I go with Starlink? I did actually look at Starlink pricing. If I would have been on the Mac when I was looking, I would have hit Command W because they wanted $300 just for setup. And I was like, nope, I'm out.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently that is a discounted price right now. It's actually $4.99. I was like, I think I'll be all right for a minute. But Xfinity got me set up. So we're good. I've got the unified system back up. And now got to start working on fixing up the Apple Home because there's obviously different rooms, an entirely different layout. Some stuff is not even going to be hooked up again, maybe. So,
are you going to fix your Apple Home, or are you just going to make a new home? We just made a new home.
Oh, man. The only problem with that, it means I got to go around and set up all those devices again. Yes.
Yeah. Well, don't you have to you don't have to reset them up in the new home, do you?
No.
Okay.
If I just keep using the same home and just try to make some changes to it, everything still works. But I think if you create a new home, you have to re-add everything that you had or everything you're going to use in the new home.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea though.
We've been having good luck with this lock. It's been working fairly well. I finally consistently get automations when we get home, especially if no one else is home, that asks if I'd like to run the automation to unlock the door. If I remember to tap that, it's great. But when I get to the door, if I haven't tapped that, it's kind of inconvenient. I'm using paratransit for the first time living here tomorrow which is good and bad. I say good and bad because good, that's one of the primary reasons we moved into town, was for more transportation options. But bad is it took me, 3 months to use it? I just didn't have a place to go. Ironically, the place I'm going is to a transit meeting.
Yeah, I've done that too, though. I've used paratransit to get to the transit meeting because I want to know what's going on because I've heard things I didn't like. But yeah.
Well, good.
I'm curious. I got to get my lock set up. I'm curious if it's going to be a little bit simpler because I think I should be able to tap the watch or tap the phone or have it automatically unlock. I did get the car hub. I have that paired or at least set up on the network. I have not gotten around to pulling the deadbolt off and putting the smart lock on.
Okay. There's the show, everyone. Apple has a big thing coming out tomorrow. I'm going to the transit meeting, so I won't be watching it live. I'm reliant on a lot of the podcasts around to keep me updated tomorrow. Of course, I'll listen to Tom's podcast because he does a great job at summarizing from a general perspective, not from an accessibility perspective. Yeah. And then, I think I will upgrade this year, but I am curious what AT&T will offer me. If it'll lower my bill, I will definitely upgrade, but I don't know that it will.
I'm curious. I won't get to watch it live either, but like you, podcast. Have you ever looked at Mastodon, like during an event, or to see if anybody is doing like the way they used to do on Twitter with the live tweeting of the event? It's a little overwhelming, but
yeah,
that's also a thing that people can explore. I wasn't sure if people had started doing that on Mastodon.
they
What
did
about the
for
rest, man?
WWDC, but I don't know specifically for tomorrow. I suspect they will.
Cool. What are you expecting to see as far as phones, or what's going to make you upgrade, like other than saving some money on your bill?
I want an action button, which I could get the 15 to get that, but I want the action button. I also am curious to see how the AI is going to play out. And let's be honest, if we upgrade it, and I say we, then that means Mallory's probably getting the 16, and I will get her Pro Max or 15 Pro Max. Either way, I would get the AI, unless something like killer happens tomorrow, which I want to be surprised by Apple, but I don't know. I don't know what would surprise me. Apple Watch, I will probably be getting a new one of those in the not too distant future. And I think really I'm just going to go with the Ultra because Mallory's been very happy with her Ultra 1. So Ultra 3 would be kind of cool. And the battery life would be amazing.
Yeah, I think at some point I'm going to have to upgrade my watch. Also get that Ultra just for that battery life.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, even if they didn't do an Ultra 3, like I think I would buy the Ultra 2 once we were kind of past the, November-ish time, just for the battery life. Because I'm on the Apple Watch 6, I think it is, and the battery is terrible. Actually, I hadn't worn my Apple Watch for about 3 weeks.
Ah.
So my streak is gone.
Yeah.
But
COVID made me lose my streak, and then I just didn't care afterwards.
yeah, it's hard once you lose that streak to get back. Like I'll make a whole nother streak. It took me a very long time to make the first.
So we got a listener. Shout out to Mike. He asked for me not to use his last name, so I'm not going to. And he said, because the episode title for TW74 was not responding, he was disconcerted by his blindness-related tech device saying not responding while it was trying to download TW74 and was a little unsure as to how big that episode was and why it was causing his device to not respond. And then he realized it was the name of the episode. So he said, you got me with that one.
That was unintentional.
Right. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, what are you talking? And then I went and looked like, oh, okay. I'm kind of sorry. So he's been listening apparently to Technically Working for a little while. So hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for listening.
He also taught me about this website called Shortcut World. Have you heard of this? It lets you search for Mac and Windows keyboard shortcuts in just about any application. Mac, Windows, and Linux keyboard shortcuts. Shortcutworld.com.
Shortcutworld.com. They should have bought Shortcut.world.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
It is. It is. But that's all the stuff that I had in the show notes this week. I am using the show notes with these Leasy web clips. Now I can just hit 2 keystrokes and I'm in the proper Google Doc, which is handy. So I had to add more users to the role in bits today. And I got to the point where I would use a Leasy cut to jump to a Leasy point to jump to the all users link. So I'd quickly jump over there. I'd paste in the email address to the email or in the email field and hit enter. And then with flexible web on JAWS, I had it set to show me the first row in that table. And I would read the line. And if that email address matched what I just pasted in, I would hit enter. And then JAWS focus would move to the role that I needed to apply. I would hit this. For the first little bit, I would hit the JAWS key to read the line to make sure that I was where I should be. But then I would hit space, B, enter, and then I was able to add the role a lot faster than I had for the last couple of hundred students. So explore your AT's capabilities to customize the experience to make it what you need it to be.
So,
And then
I would think a WP Python. Oh, my first thought was there should be a WP CLI command that will let you set a user role, and you should be able to just feed it a JSON or CSV file.
I didn't think about WP CLI. I don't know why. Probably because I don't use it that much, and that would probably make my life a hell of a lot easier. Huh? I'll have to check into that.
Yeah, that seems that it should be possible. Let's see.
Yep, there's a WP user add role. WP user add dash role. Huh. And then you could feed WP CLI a list of email addresses or usernames to apply this to.
I believe that should work.
How does someone get access to WP CLI on their WordPress site? Do you as the admin have to do something, or is that something done on the host level?
Yeah, well, it depends on your host, but in general, it's something that's done just from the command line of your server. So whether it's a shared server or VPS or a dedicated server, you will log into it and from the command line, navigate to your folder that has your WordPress files. And if WP CLI is installed, WP space some command help might be a good one to start with. Will let you use that. There are some ways, I think, to hook into WP CLI from the WordPress interface to run commands. I haven't found one that either made enough sense to me to use it or seemed like it was safe to be doing it.
Right. So WP CLI isn't something you install on your local computer to manage your WordPress site remotely?
I mean, you could also do that. Actually, I used WP CLI quite a bit, or did, because I had really done a lot of WordPress stuff, but quite a bit locally, just with interacting with local sites. And there are ways to send commands to a remote server as well with WP CLI. So all in all, it's a pretty useful tool when it comes to WordPress. Most of what you can do in the admin interface can be done from WP CLI, creating users. That's kind of why I said that's what occurred to me as you were saying you had to add more people. I was like, wait, there should be a very quick way to do this with WP CLI user, and you should be able to just point it at a file that has a list of email addresses, or just feed it a bunch of email addresses if you want to type all of those in.
So how are things going? You are about a quarter of the way into September ish. Yeah, we're a third of the way into September, roughly.
Yeah, already. Man, I am trying to get paperwork together, or not necessarily get it together, but just get stuff situated to, take care of doing a report and trying to come up with a different strategy for handling machines. I'm still kind of on the hunt for a really solid one worker that can help me get everything done when it comes to the vending stuff. But it looks like for a little while I have to operate just with a couple of different people here and there, but you know, got to coming up with a new strategy for that. The move, I think, is mostly done. I'm starting to actually set up the smart home stuff a little bit. So that's been good. Haven't been able to grill anything for a while, though. Because the leg on my grill is broken. So no barbecuing.
Oh, no. Did that happen during the move?
Nah, that shit was broken for a while. I just was sitting on bricks at the old place. I really didn't want to pick up the heavy bricks to move them to the new place. It was like they weren't mine in the first place. I didn't buy them. They was already here. You know what? No.
Yeah.
Moving is not fun, man. As you know.
It is not.
You
And by that
recently did
point,
it.
you're just like, I'm done.
It's like, look, I didn't pay for that, and it's not really mine. Like nobody gave it to me. Yeah, I'm fine leaving that right here.
Well, good. The move is done. Done-ish. That means you get to start maybe finally because you came back from the program, went to Florida, and then moved pretty much, right?
Pretty much how that went. Yeah.
Went to Florida, got assigned a route, and then moved because there was that small thing right there too.
Yeah, that is kind of how that went. Yeah, man, but got a strategy for sure. Definitely got to do some soundproofing when I can get this office actually set up. Wait, what was I saying before that? Okay, well, you can just cut it out because it had all the noise in the background anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll just go with the thought that I just had, which is, have you come up with any other or some strategies, or what am I trying to say? Have you come up with ways that you're going to do your soundproofing that you've been talking about? I know you had carpet. Was it carpet? No, sound panels up on one location, but you mentioned carpet to me a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so Sean's doing carpet on his walls for his very small sound booth shed. And that's what made me think about carpet. What I'm going to do is probably what I'm doing right now, because that seems to work pretty good for right now. I might put a carpet on the floor underneath me, which will dampen a little bit of the reverb that my voice is making off of the concrete floor. But primarily what I did is just stapled up some of these noise dampening squares, and hopefully that'll work well. Unless I decide that I actually want to build an enclosed recording area with the wood that I have, but I don't think that's going to happen. But that thought did cross my mind a time or twice.
Yeah, it's just a bit of effort, and
It is
time consuming. And I mean, I don't know about you, but
when
for me,
right now
help
with
will
the
be
mic
required.
setup, I think it sounds fine. And if I need something more, I just turn to my left and then I talk into the wall, and it dampens it enough that it sounds almost a little too dampened too, because I kind of want a little bit of room noise. So, which seems weird that I want a little room noise, because at first I'm like, I don't want any, but now you kind of want a little bit of that volume, or not volume, but a little bit of that environment sound to make it feel like it's not overly processed.
Gotcha.
So I'm using the Vocaster. Have not purchased any new hardware. Going to try. What?
I said me either.
Yeah.
No new hardware. I'm using the Vocaster too.
Going to try using the Vocaster with the Blast for a live hybrid event this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll check in on the show and let everyone know how it went. Maybe we'll grab a audio clip so you can hear it. But I was going to use the Gemini UHF microphones to run those into with a 1/4 inch to XLR cable, male on both ends, plug the 1/4" into the Gemini microphone receiver, the male XLR into the Vocaster, and then have both microphones going into that Gemini receiver, do auto gain, and then that'll get the levels set right. And then I found this cord yesterday, and I knew I had it, but it's one of those, oh, I do have this cord. That's pretty cool things. But it was a dual 1/4" male to a 1/4" 1/8" male. To a male 1/8". So dual 1/4" to a male 1/8". So I plugged that dual 1/4" into the left to right out on the Vocaster, and then the male 1/8" to the speaker. The only gotcha with it is Jaws comes out of those as well. So I may need to implement like this cheap sound card and run Jaws out of that AT guy sound card we have.
Yeah.
But for the convention, I will probably get a mixer of some sort before that. But for this weekend's hybrid event, I actually want to get this BI-40X that I have here on loan set up so I could just turn speech off and not worry about where speech is coming from and just go from the Braille display. I don't think that'll happen, but it's a possibility. I think I need to reset this Windows machine too, because parts of it's still in Zimbabwe. Like when I do a spell check, it says English Zimbabwe spell check. So some things are a little wonky.
Oh man. So you should buy yourself one of these new small Mac minis when they come out in October or whenever. And have your have that just be your audio travel computer.
Huh. Yeah. I got to do something because this laptop, you know how, like, I mean, I don't know if it's, I guess I've gotten 4 years out of it. It's not horrible. It's still running. It's just very loud. All the time, too. Because of the fans.
Or get one of the new Copilot PCs.
Yeah.
No, that's not what they're called. What are the ARM ones? The Qualcomm ones. Get one of those.
We will see what we end up with.
Mike's like me. Like Mike says, no new gear. I'm not spending any money on anything.
Not yet. But I am intrigued by the Mac Mini. I do miss the Mac a lot of times. But then sometimes I like what I'm doing with Jaws. See, if I get a decent Mac Mini, then I could potentially have the best of both worlds. I tell myself that, but it's not the same.
I wonder if it would be different though if you could allocate more RAM. I will have to.
Someone told me that with VMware, and they didn't think you can do it with Parallels, but with VMware, you can assign a keyboard for Windows use only.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I have not tried that, but I wonder if that would improve the experience too.
Look, that is the biggest issue I have now and have had consistently with Parallels and Windows 11 on a Apple Silicon Mac is the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Some keys don't work, like some key commands don't work in Windows at all. Some will work if you talk a lot of voiceover. And even with voiceover off, like I said, there are some that just don't work. They will never work. You cannot assign a keyboard, whether it's a USB or Bluetooth keyboard. So that would be amazing. I may have to, I'm going to shortcut it and actually do a, what is it called? A RIM session with the IRA agent and have them take me through getting VMware set up and Windows 11 installed and see how it goes.
What I need to figure out how to do is not do the cloud install of Windows on this Lenovo laptop and just do like a fresh install, because Lenovo just adds all their crap. There's the Lenovo Vantage. Oh, and they so graciously provide me with McAfee too.
Oh,
That's soaking up a lot of my resources.
That's what everybody needs.
Oh yeah, I was gonna check to see. See, this has been happening to me more and more, and that's what has me concerned about this computer. Is it took me that long to get speech from JAWS, and that's disconcerting. This computer I'm on has an Intel R registered Core TM i7 9750H CPU at 2.6 gigahertz with 16 gigs of RAM. That's the problem. Is what does that mean? At least with a MacBook in it, AMD or M model, the M3 is better than the M4. I don't know if this Core 7 or anyways. 16 gigs of RAM though, I know that.
That's a good baseline. I hear Apple is going to be boosting their baseline RAM up for everything to 16 gigs.
I heard that too. We probably heard it from the same person.
Took them long enough.
I think it was DTNS that I heard that rumor.
I think I heard it. No, I don't know if I heard it there. I heard it somewhere else. It was a podcast. I think The Verge had the actual article or something. But yeah, that will be interesting. New AirPods. Interested in those possibly at the event?
Not really. Yeah, I don't think so.
There are some bows I was shown recently. I think they're bows. And they clip onto just the back of your ear. And they sounded really, really good. So think kind of the bone conduction of something like Shocks, but these actually just clip to the back of your ear. They're very small. You just have it clipped to the back of your earlobe, and they sounded really good, man. I don't know how the microphones on them are for phone calls or anything, but they were very compact, kept your ears completely open, and not always kind of in your way or always feeling like it's on your head type of thing, which I get with some headphones or listening devices that allow you to keep your ears open to hear ambient noise.
You know what blows me away is the microphone on the Ray-Bans.
Yeah. Those are good. I've had several phone conversations using those just kind of throughout the day.
Are you recording by chance locally?
Yes.
Okay, because for some reason it says that your recording's already done uploading.
Okay. Well, maybe it is because I wasn't talking. It was like, oh, well, he's done. Oh, wait, no, he's talking again.
Maybe. We will see. I might need your recording.
Oh, nope. It says something went wrong and you are not being recorded anymore.
Oh.
That's what it says on my side. So hold on. I'm going to refresh. All right. Now let's see if I'm being recorded in here.
You are back again. And, Riverside, you should be a little bit more persistent about that.
Yeah. Like a, notification or something. Like a chime, a ding, something.
Yeah, it says it's recording you.
Good deal.
Yeah. So we'll see what we get out of that because that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. This show gets edited on Mondays. Well, sometimes on Mondays because we're recording on a Sunday again tonight. So it'll get edited tomorrow. Probably published before I head to my transit meeting. I'll go to the transit meeting. I'll come home, recap myself on Apple News, go do some bylaws stuff, come home, And yeah, we'll see how tomorrow runs after that. Oh, we have the office class tomorrow too. It'll be a busy day.
Very busy day. I'm going to be trying out a new driver in the morning. So,
is this one of the ones we talked about?
No.
Working at the store?
No, it is not actually one of those. Yeah, trying out a new driver in the morning. See how that goes. We'll start with if they actually show up at the time they're supposed to. And yeah, we'll see.
How early do you try to get started?
I'm trying to, for like a day like tomorrow, I want to be out of here no later than 6:30 in the morning.
Gotcha.
Because I can get into some places early, so I can get in there, get those done, get out. So by the time everything else starts opening up, I'm one of the first people they see. And that also gets me out of here, ideally, before it gets to be 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because then it's burning up hot.
That would get you home by then?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be ideal. Well, good luck on that. We'll have to follow up and check in to see how things go. As I said, I will share my chapter meeting. Oh, I built a phone system this week, which to me really only took a couple of minutes, but a lot of people are blown away. So when you call the number, which, yes, I had to do it, the last 5 digits are SACBO. But when you call that number, it's taking you to an information line where you hear my voice, and then you press option number 1 and you hear me tell you about the upcoming meeting. You press option number 2 and you hear OpenAI's Nova, I think that's the name of the voice, read you our previous month's proposed minutes. And then you press option number 3 and that takes you to a comedian mail voicemail that you can leave a message and then it's emailed to you. And all of it's ran on VoIP.ms right now.
Super cool, man. Super cool.
Yep.
It's pretty easy once you get going in there as well. Like it seems like it takes a little bit to get down to the features where you're trying to get to in VoIP.ms. Once you're there, like you can easily build something like that out. Definitely not as much hassle as the multiple consoles I've seen in other VoIP solutions.
Yeah. I heard a rumor, and I haven't been able to confirm the pricing, that Zoom is offering an add-on feature for their Zoom Pro plan. It's called Zoom Pro Plus, I think, for $7 a month. That gives you access to Zoom Phone and a few other features as well. Zoom Clips, which will use AI to clip out different parts of your meeting, kind of like what Riverside does. I haven't been able to confirm that pricing. The cheapest I found is $10 a month. So if someone can send me a link to the $7 a month, I'd be interested. And that's $10 a month if you pay annually. But what I have done is, what they made it sound like was that you could set up IVRs with Zoom Phone with this plan. And what I'm wondering is, could I set up, for example, dial 8 to be connected to Unmute Live? And then if they dial 8, are they dropped into a specific Zoom meeting, which that would be pretty amazing.
That seems doable.
I would think so. Leo's doing it somehow. Because people can just call in to their Zoom.
Yeah, I think he is using Zoom Phone in that instance. So that would be cool. I just had a thought, which is, so Zoom Pro itself, if I'm not mistaken, is about $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's, just throwing a thought out here. There's Google Meet, which is on the web, works everywhere. You can get phone calls. What if I put more money into Workspace to get some features that are also available in Zoom, such as, I don't know, some of the new AI features they have in Workspace or something. I probably would save, I don't know, $60, $80 a year.
Probably.
From paying for Zoom and just use Google Meet as my platform of choice for meetings that that are scheduled with me. Somebody wants me to show up in Zoom. Sure, I'll show up in Zoom. No big deal.
But I'm scheduling meetings in Google Meet, and you can come to that. It's funny. I found more people using Google Meet than used to be the case. I was doing, as you know, I'm all about this U-Test thing. I really like U-Test. Thank you, whoever. I think it was JJ. Anyways, whoever invited me to U-Test. Pretty awesome platform. More of them are using Google Meet than Zoom now that I noticed, which was pretty interesting. I mean, Zoom's still regularly being used, but it's not unheard of to get a Google Meet link sent over.
Yeah, the funny thing is when I did this during the pandemic and tried not to use Zoom as much, or actually when I started Bedrock, I think maybe a little bit before that, I was trying to use Google Meet and nobody had ever heard of it. People couldn't get in. It was like, oh, I can't. It says this is access denied or something. I was like, are you logged in with this account? Because I sent it to this. Hold on, I'll send it to that email. I was like, it just didn't work. But now I am definitely seeing a lot more Google Meet links.
Yep.
So just a thought. Throwing it out there. Still haven't had the nerve to try an open source meeting platform as a solution.
Not yet. Maybe one of these days.
No.
Maybe 2025 will be the year of open source for you.
Probably not with a video meeting platform. I don't know if I want to run that myself.
Yeah, we've talked about that multiple times on the show. The pros of running an open source platform is you have more flexibility. The con is you have to manage it too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have more flexibility. Sometimes, there's a few configuration things you can do, but there's settings and everything else too. I think it comes down to, for me, a lot of times it's going to be the maintenance there, but also the necessity of it, this necessary security of a platform as well. And can I secure that easily myself, or is it something I need to start learning how to do? Because that makes a big difference. I can throw some money at Google or Zoom because they're taking care of the security of that platform versus running open source and not being familiar with the, security model that's being used there and how to tweak that to optimize that for what I want. WordPress, not difficult, but I've also been doing WordPress for been over 10 years.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
So I guess the last thing that I have to mention, I don't know if you have anything on there, but it might be a short-ish show, is at unmute.show. We now have monthly memberships or annual memberships that people can purchase either for themselves or as a gift. And when I embraced using Memberful and just jumped in and started adding stuff, like they have a pretty robust system that gives you a lot of flexibility with building things out. It's funny, I was on a meeting about Memberful for bits because I made a suggestion for it on Wednesday at our board meeting, and we were meeting with the lady, and she's like, "Yeah, I remember you and your colleague," and she couldn't remember his name. I'm like, "Marty." She's like, "Yeah, you and Marty came and was talking with us, and when I saw your name, I was super excited." I didn't realize it was the same lady, but that's the advantage of working with a small company. But once you go and get some of the stuff added for Memberful and the links put into place, it's a pretty simple process to get it configured the way you want it to be.
That's awesome. Memberful seems to have turned out to be a really good platform, though. And despite what I thought initially when I learned that Patreon owned, I was like, they're eventually going to get absorbed, but they have actually been around for quite some time.
Now, just as a quick caveat, I had forgotten that Patreon owned them. And then I went to one of their Zoom links and it was a Patreon.Zoom. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So, how do you get custom domains? Is that something you got to pay extra for? Do you know?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, never mind.
and it's significant. It's not,
Yeah. You looked then?
yes, I did. I looked a long time ago and I never brought it up because I'm like, you know what? It's not that serious. Not at all.
Right.
One hack for that though, especially with Zoom, because it's easy to make a personal meeting link, is redirect a custom domain of your own to that personal meeting room link, and that link always works to join a meeting with you.
Yep. My personal meeting ID number is the same number as my business number.
Yep. Mine too.
I think you did that.
Yeah. That way, I can remember what the number is, which means I can very easily give somebody my personal meeting link or write it down if I have to. And I'm not giving up, a personal number or anything like that, or something that could be a potential PIN code. Like, nope, it's just a phone number.
I am re-exploring that Python material because Jeff built a script to send a Word document. So what his script does is it transcribes a Word document into audio. And OpenAI's API has a limitation of, I think it's 4,096 characters. So what he's doing is he set up a Python script that will get the contents of a Word document. At 4,000 characters, it'll find the nearest sentence break. So period, exclamation mark, question mark. And then it will split the file based at that point. And then it will send that first chunk off and then make the second chunk and send that second chunk off. Once it gets all the MP3 files back into a file or into a folder, it then takes all those MP3 files and combines them together to give you one file. Which sounds like a lot, but it revitalized my wanting to learn more about Python because I did not stick with the Python class. And I think it's because I didn't have a problem to be solved. And so I lost interest. And now I'm thinking of some unique problems that could be solved with Python, jumping back into it. And of course, because I already kind of learned it in the past, it's a lot faster to hit the ground running. And I just want to say, I really like VS Code because VS Code's nice.
It is very decent. I will give you that. I don't like it as much on the Mac as I think I like it on Windows. But
Gotcha.
it is even decent on the Mac. Like, I will use it. I actually had it open the other day, which was honestly the first time in a long time.
Huh.
That I was even messing with basic config files or something. So I chose to open that over
Learning
anything
Python.
else that I would have used.
There's a book. There's a lot of books. Automate the boring things, I think is what it's called with Python or something. And then the Digital Bytes that posted today when we're recording September 8th. In that content, I show you how to make File Explorer open to your Dropbox. So if you live out of Dropbox like I do, you can hit one keystroke that opens it up, and then you can find the documents or the material you're looking for quickly without having to navigate to Dropbox first. You can set it to open to your PC, to your home directory, which is the default, or to OneDrive as well. It looks like either personal or business.
And as you were going into the Dropbox thing, I was like, oh, well, you could also set Command in and Finder to open up to your Dropbox as well, or your OneDrive, or any folder you choose to navigate to. Maybe even a saved search.
Set that up.
I should check that out. Maybe you could do a saved search. So like if you have a specific filter of stuff you want to start with.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. In the Finder, hit Command, comma, to open up the preferences. And it is in, hold on, because it is up under a specific tab. in Finder.
Remember that episode we did with Jeff and Sean?
Yeah, man. We got to reach out and get Sean on the show, too.
We do.
Oh, there we go. In general, so on the first screen. New Finder Windows show, and you can set a folder.
Okay. See? There you go. There's your tips. That gives you the value for today's show.
So internet woes will apparently continue for a little while because the lag has gotten serious. But thanks to everybody for listening. Big thank you to our supporters that support us through the tip jar. You can do so by going to... Jeez, I forgot the domain for a second. Technicallyworking.show and clicking on the support us through the tip jar. Like, wait a minute. I was about to say unmute.show, and I was like, no, that's not the right one.
No, I'm the one that's supposed to make that mistake, remember?
That is not the right one. Yeah, so go to technicallyworking.show and click on the support us link, and that will get you to our tip jar. We appreciate everybody that does that. As I always say, you can spend your money anywhere. You're choosing to spend a little bit of it with us, so thank you. As always, thanks to everybody just for listening. We appreciate it. Please tell a friend about the show, and you can speak to us on social media. He's Payon, Payawn, at unmute.community. I'm Demasi, Damashe, at unmute.community. And you can use the hashtag technicallyworking or send email to feedback@technicallyworking.show.
You can also visit unmute.show too if you want more content. Just saying.
Yeah, and join the Memberful to get the bonuses.